All right, guys, I just want to jump right in here. So, this is going to be a little different. As you guys know, if you look at my channel, I basically like to do, I'll talk sports, wrestling, and a lot of video games. I usually record footage, and I've recently been really focusing on recording footage off my Xbox 360. So, that covers Xbox games, 360 games, dating to the beginning of the console and forward, and obviously covering Xbox Series X games from the PS4, Xbox One generation through current games. And I mention a lot about Game Pass. I talk about Game Pass. Game Pass. I've basically I preach to the choir when it comes to the Phil Spencer, Church of Greatness. I've been a big fan of his and of what he's done with Game Pass. I think it's a generous platform, and I realized that I've never really done any content about Game Pass. So this is going to be a little different video. I am going to just go over, the basics of Game Pass, what I like about it, and if there's anything I see that I think could be improved upon or not. But basically, yeah, just kind of talk about Game Pass and why I like it, and then just as a hint, a spoiler, I will be, probably in the very very near future uploading a video with regard to a game that I just got off of my Game Pass, which I will pull up, and this would be Gungrave Gore. I just tried this tonight. I was really excited about it because I saw the trailer, and let me say, it's a banger. It's old school arcade type fun. I highly recommend it. It is on Game Pass right now, recent release, and it is one of the reasons I love Game Pass is for finding games like this. I would have never paid, if you have 50, $60 to just test out something. This was a game that, basically is emblematic of what makes the Game Pass such a great platform. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So before I jump into Game Pass, the app, I will say Game Pass has another feature that I'm not sure if a lot of you know about or if you're using, but if you go to your My Games and Apps, you go to your full library, and I'm just going to zoom in on my computer because I can't see. So if you go into your library, your Game Pass is integrated into your full library. By being a subscriber, it's considered part of your library. Now they segregate Game Pass in general with games with gold. As you can see, I've taken advantage of this by having zero. EA Play, another great service which I subscribe to, and then owned apps. So EA Play and Game Pass. Obviously, EA Play is integrated into the higher level subscription of Game Pass, which I recommend. And we'll just start from the top here. So if you just stay out of the actual app, you can actually scroll to all of the games from your main screen. So there's Play Later, which is a list that I compiled, just to give you an idea of some games I put in here. Gunfire Reborn, that's a fun arcade shooter. Gungrave Gore, which I talked about. Nakara, this is a game, Nakara Blade Point, another one that I want to play very shortly. Deathloop, I have tried that, it's fun. Metal Hellslinger, that's another arcade type fun first person shooter with a cool twist that you basically have an awesome metal rock background to it that's playing, and the music affects the gameplay. And as you progress as throughout the map and through your shooting, the music will enhance. It's very very cool. You can see these are just games I saved to my list. Joyride Turbo, it's another one. I actually think I did a video on that previously. I might do another one. Wolfenstein, all the Wolfensteins are great first-person shooters, offline first-person shooters. Fusion Frenzy, Battlefield, we'll talk about that. But anyway, these are games that I saved to my play later list. Recently added, obviously, if you just want to quickly check to see what's been added. Now, all these lists are available when you go into the actual app, but it's cool that they're right there in your Xbox. Now, I don't know if PlayStation has similar integration for their app, but obviously we're going to focus on the Xbox Game Pass here. and then leaving soon. Obviously, these are the games that will be duly departing us shortly, so you can decide if they are worth a download and a purchase. Nothing here that I play. There's another link to the actual Game Pass app. These are all the Game Pass games, and then over here you have EA Play. So these are just the games that are just within EA Play. I guess we could start with EA Play on Game Pass. First of all, there's no question that this has value. Number one, you get NBA Live, you get Madden, you get FIFA. So for those of you who are into sports games, and the NHL series. For those of you who are into sports games, this is an easy pickup, right? I mean, if you don't want to have to buy all the different sports games and you just want to have them all handed over like right on a Netflix like platform, this is for you. Plus the UFC. The only thing missing from Game Pass and EA Play in totality as a genre is wrestling games. There are no wrestling games available. That is the only thing that you can say. I cannot argue with that. There's MMA, there's baseball, there's basketball, there's football, there's hockey, there's golf, there's soccer, obviously racing. So sports are covered, but the only thing that is missing is wrestling. So you would have to buy wrestling separate. And as you know from my channel, whether it's WWE 2K18, 2K22, WWE Raw 2 for the Xbox, the SmackDown vs. Raw series, whatever. I love wrestling, so that's a big part of it for me. But the sports genre is covered on Game Pass, minus wrestling. Okay? So anyway, I think the greatest thing that Game Pass has to offer with regard to EA Play, though, has to be the Battlefields. Why? Oh, and Fight Night is also a hidden gem. Why? Simple. Battlefield 1943. Amazing. I did a video on that. I'll do more videos on it because it's great. Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield Bad Company 2, Bad Company 1, then the more modern ones. Battlefield 1, the recently added Battlefield 2042, even though a lot of you probably not a big fan, but it's there. Battlefield Hardline. So, and Battlefield 5 there, sorry, I should have mentioned that. So, they give you all these Battlefields with this subscription. That's amazing. The second thing that you have with this is you have live servers to play the online. So you can play Battlefield Bad Company like it's 2008 again. You can play Battlefield 4 like it's 2013 again. I mean, it's online, and the servers are not empty. There are people playing. But here's the kicker, right? By putting these things on a platform like Xbox Game Pass, you now take something that would have been relegated to the computer community, the PC community, right? And or the Steam community, and now you've integrated it into the Xbox community, which is a mainstream gaming community. So you're giving people who would typically have glossed over an online shooter from the past, which you just assume would be dead now, and you're giving them the opportunity to play it live now. That is huge. That cannot be understated. Okay, that is huge. That is, to me, the intrinsic value of what Game Pass is. It not only provides you an opportunity to try things based on a flat fee, but it allows things to come back to life that may have otherwise been dead. That's amazing. So kudos to Phil Spencer, kudos to EA Play for being a part of this. And let me just put this prediction out now that we're talking about EA Play within the Game Pass as an addition instead of just a standalone service. By having this on here, this is a preview. This is a preview of what Activision could be. Bethesda has their own version of this as well, which I can show you. There is a Bethesda section after the merger. So this is the actual Game Pass app. Look at this banger coming to Game Pass soon. Insurgency Sandstorm. If you've been on my channel, you know I like this game. I play this on my Xbox Series X. I bought it outright. This game is a great tactical shooter online. It's in the ilk of Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six. It is not a Tom Clancy game. It's not a mainstream studio game, but it is very good. And the fact that it's going to be on Game Pass, that's going to be huge. It's going to bring eyes and ears to this game that would not normally have seen it. Anyway, as far as what I was saying about what Activision could be. By the way, I don't know if you realize this, but if you hit the left trigger and right trigger, you can scroll up and down through Game Pass. I could do the same thing on the menu I was just in previously on my Xbox, but that's pretty cool, right? So you don't have to like slow scroll through on your joystick. You can actually use this. So here's Bethesda. These are all the Bethesda Softworks games that are on here. Now, Activision's going to do the same thing. When that merger is complete, you're going to see all the Call of Duties that are back online. They're all going to be here, and all the other Activision games. I guarantee you. And that's another one of the reasons that Sony's been trying to block this deal, because that's a huge value add. If you're going to purchase a system and you know that I can get a service like this with all these different games, do you think that that's attractive? Do you think that might make you want to buy a system? Because you know you can have all these games with it? Or do you want to get the other system where it's just one at a time, you're buying the game? So anyway, that's Bethesda, and I'll go back into this briefly, but I just wanted to, again, show you what the menu looked like. Xbox Game Pass, here's the full thing again, and you can scroll like this if you want. Crackdown series is fun. This plays a supercharged cop. I actually have Crackdown 1 on my 360. It's a fun game. So, a couple of other quick notes, and you can see this in the regular app, but I'll just show you in it here. If you notice here, when you look at a game, it gives you the box art of the game. It gives you the title of the game. But then it also has this little symbol here. If you notice on this symbol, on this game, Costume Quest 2, there's a down arrow. So obviously that means download. This, when you see the down arrow there, that's an indication that the only option available for this game is to download it. If you see a little cloud symbol in the bottom right, that means you could play on cloud. Now, obviously, you probably know this because you're not completely ignorant to technology, especially if you're watching this on my YouTube channel. Play on cloud means what you think. You could just go ahead and click on this game, just like all these other games that have the little cloud symbol. And I can show you right now. As soon as you click on the game, you get this menu. You could see the game in the Microsoft Store. You can scroll over. Usually there's a video preview of the game. There's always a description of the game. So in this one, time to step up your boom to stop crime as a superpowered agent in the Crackdown 3 sandbox of mayhem and destruction. Down here are your options for the game. Now this is just telling you about cloud gaming. You could install the game right now. You could play it right now instantly in cloud. You can again look at it in the Microsoft Store. You could add it to your play later list, which actually I'll go ahead and do. Or you could go to the official club or share this. Now, if we hit play now, which we'll go ahead and we'll jump into real quick just to demonstrate. It'll take you to this brief screen. You probably recognize this if you've ever played Game Pass on or any other of the Xbox applications on your phone or on your computer. You get the same symbol of that like rocket ship going left to right on your screen. Okay, so that's how you get into cloud on all the apps. Now, I actually had Game Pass. I didn't know that Bink Video and Havoc were involved in this. That's cool. They're involved in a lot of wrestling games I like. I actually had Game Pass. Yeah, NY Hunter, that's my sign-in. So if you ever see me on Xbox or PSN, that's mine. Same thing with Nintendo Switch, which I will be doing. I'm going to try to do some videos on my Switch as well, because there's some games on there I want to cover. if you or if you've ever played like Game Pass on your phone, like I did, I actually signed up for the Game Pass to have the library on my phone before I had the Xbox. This is before the release of Series X and the PS5. I chose, okay, I chose the Xbox, and I actually haven't played this before. I chose the Xbox because of my experience with Game Pass. So a lot of people you could buy Xbox Game Pass and own a PlayStation and have access to the Xbox library, and you could play on your PC, on your phone, and I was doing that. But then when it came time to the release of both systems, I actually went with the Xbox simply because I enjoyed the ecosystem so much. Well, this is the ecosystem at work. I'm playing a game from previous generation, but 2 generations ago. I'm playing it seamlessly through cloud on my modern system. Okay, this is the best thing that Xbox has to offer to counter you. Now, they don't care how you go into their ecosystem as long as you're in. But what you're going to find on your own, and I've seen this with friends, is that once you enter the Xbox ecosystem, you're going to just want the system. You're not going to just want to play, oh, I have a PS5, but I play Game Pass all the time on my PC. Wouldn't it be nice to have it on your real system? Wouldn't it be nice to have it on your system that you could cloud into? So I play my regular Xbox sometimes on my laptop when I don't have my Xbox with me. And I play it remotely. Like we went away on vacation, I had my laptop with me and I cloud remoted into my system. And I was playing games on my regular Xbox console through the laptop. Don't you want to get into the ecosystem by owning the system? That's going to happen to you. Alright, so I haven't played this game at all actually. So I could just jump in really quickly. I don't really want to go through a whole thing here. Can I just skip ahead, please? Probably, I should have picked the game that I actually already know. I'm just going to skip this. For those of you who don't know, the Crackdown series, it's basically about a fictional city that is experiencing high crime, and the police force there's like a special agency police force, and you're a member of it, and you're like a genetically altered special agent / police officer that works on that force, and you have to just go out and fight the crime. Now I played through a little bit of Crackdown 1. I don't believe I played a lot of Crackdown 2, and I certainly haven't played 3, so I don't know how wacky this gets. just being honest, I don't know. So, and I'm gonna skip this story because I just want to get to the game. From what I remember of Crackdown 1, it's just kind of a goofy mess around, third-person action fighting shooting.
Okay.
It's not supposed to be that
not
serious.
An expert with agency tech.
It's
I got the region.
It's not a tactical shooter.
This was the safest place
like
for me to rebuild you.
Okay.
No place is
So
really
what I'm
safe
just
in
trying to
Providence.
demonstrate here is
So I got you
the
this.
game. This is again.
A welcome
I'm running
gift
this.
from the civilian
I'm
militia.
running this on through my laptop. That's on my. That's hooked into one of my TVs. It's not even my HD TV. It's my, what do you call it? It's my secondary television basically that I used for my computer. It's not my 4K television or anything like that. And it still looks okay, and certainly it's running fine, but I'm playing this on cloud. So that should tell you a little something about like the service. Alright.
Those glowing green orbs? There's some kind of agency training hologram. Grab them to boost your agility skill.
Again, I don't want to play through too much of this because this is really not what this video is about. Just wanted to kind of get out into the map a little bit. Just kind of show you what it's like. Again, I'm playing this
Another
purely
Terra
on
Nova
cloud.
rescue
This is
operation.
not downloaded to my
They've
system.
been airlifting refugees for
So I
weeks.
just want to see what this is like.
Welcome, citizens
Crackdown
of the
1,
world.
it's
Welcome
pretty
to
regular.
New
Like
Providence.
you have a police car, and you know you have
vision
other members of the police
brighter
force.
tomorrow.
It's not. It's futuristic, but
vision
it's not. Doesn't look
powered by
quite like
human
this.
potential.
This looks like a
Together,
little bit more
we will
futuristic.
forge a bold
We need to shut down the propaganda they're feeding
Yes.
the refugees and the force fields they use to contain them in the Outlands. Best way to
See
do
if I
that?
can get into some
Take out the
action.
nearby power station.
Set to that person.
Agent, if you shut down the power station, you'll open a path to the city gates. Even better, you'll cut off Neiman's propaganda too.
Arrest. You have the right to get thrown into the toxins. Oh, I fell into it.
Watch out! That chimera will melt right through your suit.
I have no idea where I'm going.
welcome, citizens
So
of the
anyway,
world.
this is I'm just giving you an example of what the game is like.
Born from
This is the place,
You
Agent.
know what it's like.
Watch
to,
out for the
to
guards.
move on cloud and stuff.
a vision powered by human potential.
I don't want to take too much time exploring the
We
city.
will forge a bold new future. Together,
Shadow.
welcome, citizens of the world. Welcome to New Providence. Born from a vision, brighter tomorrows. A vision
All right.
powered by
So this is fun, but this is not really the point of the video. So Crackdown 3, just giving you an example. And then obviously when you play a game, it shows up on your last play, just like any other game that you would own. So just going back to the full menu here. So then this is Game Pass. This is how you scroll through all the games here that are listed. Great variety, great service. We could just actually take a quick look at the actual app because I've talked about it a lot. First go in, a couple games. Usually they give you games that they recommend or recently added. Now this is the game I recorded I downloaded this because I liked it so much when I first played it. And I'll let you watch a little bit of the trailer here. Check this bad boy out. Yeah, pretty cool, right? That's pretty awesome. So, yeah, it is a gory shoot 'em up. Supposed to be. It's not. I don't want to call it goofy, like, and make it have any negative connotation. It is fun. It's just old school, like you just shooting, blowing stuff up, carving bullets through people. It's gory. think a modern day Duke Nukem meets Saints Row. I think that's a kind of a great way to describe it. Think Duke Nukem meets Saints Row. Now, Saints Row, if it had been done right, which it horrifically was not, and shout out to my buddy Dan from the Nava crew. You called it. Saints Row, the new one, was done so poorly. It actually, I think the studio got shut down. It was so bad. Um, this is what it should have been from a gameplay perspective, from the guns perspective, the gore perspective. It should have been over the top like this Gungrave game. This game was well done, and I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with those studios, but boom, what a banger that game is. So yeah, another gem for the Game Pass. So anyway, this is usually what happens. They recommend stuff. If there's updates, like there's been fighters added to the UFC game, UFC 4. That's a fun game. I actually did a video on this one already, but I recommend it. But you can play it for free, or I shouldn't say free because obviously you pay for the service, but you know what I mean. Play it on Game Pass. It's included. Got the big ones like Minecraft. You got your Halos. So there's your picks for you. Again, it's going to be just based on the games that you're clicking on. Maybe download it or whatever. You have maybe special categories. Like in this case, Game Awards nominees. Okay, cool. Then you have your play later list. So this is the play later list I showed you before. You can see there's the game I just added. Then we have great with cloud gaming. So this is another like recommended list. Just give you an idea of like some games that have usually recently been added to cloud gaming that you might like. Flight Simulator, people always talk about that game. I've never really played it. Football Manager, I'm not familiar with this game. And it's like I'm not really a huge soccer guy. I usually play FIFA or whatever. But FIFA's on here if you want to play that. You could download it, which I think I did actually. I downloaded it. So yeah, this is again, look at the list recommendation, which is cool. By the way, one thing I'm noticing, Game Pass, as soon as they started integrating onto the consoles, the cloud gaming ability, it has grown exponentially. So cloud gaming was originally big with the app, the mobile app, but it was not huge on the console when I got the console, and honestly for the first year or so with it. Now it is growing. So if you're concerned about like, oh, I don't want to download everything, I just want to play on cloud, don't worry. A large portion of games are now available on cloud, and it's more and more every day. So these are day one releases, so just kind of reminding you of games that came out day one. Obviously, EA Play, we talked about that. The Forza Horizon games are on here, which is pretty cool. Forza Horizon 4, Forza Horizon 5. These are games like coming soon. So they give you lists just to kind of get you in the mood and let you know about what's out there. This is a service that is only improving. They're adding games all the time. They're adding features all the time. They are still maintaining the quality on the servers of games that are up. I just think you can't lose when you get Game Pass. And if you're going to buy an Xbox, you have to get it. And even if you're not getting an Xbox, you might want to consider getting on the platform, getting into the ecosystem, and then eventually you're going to want one. I just want to throw something else out there for those people who like sports games, or just to make you understand value. This game has been on Game Pass ever since I got the Xbox. This game, last year, MLB The Show 21 was on Game Pass all year. This is the most recent baseball game. This game has been on Game Pass all year. Now, this is a $60 game. This is actually a game made by Sony Studios. This game is on Game Pass. I just want to point this out. This is the type of game similar to a Madden that you would typically buy every year, probably for the roster update and whatever new features they had, and you thank them for it. This is a game that is on Game Pass. This game, if you subscribe, you have it on your Game Pass right now. You've had it on Game Pass all the season. Baseball season's over and it's still up. And here's my gut feeling. They're going to leave it up until the new game comes out, and then they're going to put that up, and then this will go away. That's awesome from a value perspective. I don't have to buy the new baseball. I could just wait for it to come out on here because we're just subscribed to Game Pass. Mortal Kombat 2. Again, this is the thing about multiplayer. All the Gears of War on here also, all the Halos. You really can't mess with this. There's no greater bang for your buck value than the Xbox ecosystem, and Game Pass is 75-80% of why that is the case. Besides the fact they have the better internet service, even the Microsoft Store is pretty great. Honestly, they offer a lot of stuff. Payday's a fun series, by the way. First-person shooter. Doesn't get a lot of attention, but it's pretty good. So as you see, those are all the Halos and the Halo Wars. Yes, I mean, this is just a beastly service. Crossfire X, I just did a video on it. I recommend that game. First-person shooter, similar to Call of Duty, but it has its own little feel to it. Quicker unlockables. You unlock the weapons with points. You don't have to wait to get attachments like you do in Call of Duty. You got to rank up. There's none of that trash. You just get the stuff. And no stupid perks either. No dogs chasing you or helicopters shooting everything in sight. They don't have that in that game. So again, these are just the multiplayers. Now, I'll also point out, when they say multiplayer, they mean it. So if you're playing a game on here that came out in 2005, or if you're playing a game that came out a year ago, the server's up, people are online, and it runs great. So they're restoring and maintaining games to play online. That is very important. And as I say that, I'm talking about Doom. I'm talking about Battlefield Bad Company 2. I'm talking about Battlefield 1843, a personal favorite of mine. I'm talking about Gears of War. If you want to play these games online like you did a long time ago, you can. If you've never played these games online, if you were just not around back then or just not playing games back then, you can play these games online. Fusion Frenzy. Think of Mario Party. That was Microsoft's answer to Mario Party on the original Xbox. I had this game, a physical copy of this game, when the Xbox first came out. It is basically Mario Party for the Xbox. And it's a good game. It's fun. It's just a bunch of mini games, 4 players max, because it used to be like, the physical controllers the Xbox had 4 ports, so it was 4 players max, but that was a fun sit-down multiplayer. I guess now it's an online multiplayer, which is pretty cool. Let's actually just take a look at this very, very quickly. Yeah, 1 to 4 players. That's very cool to see. Fun game. Maybe I'll throw it on my play later list. Oh, it's already on there. Cool. So yeah, it's multiplayer. They have other lists on here, and then of course, if you want to browse by specific genre, there's Fighter, Killer Instinct, Power Rangers, lots of stuff here. So again, this is really just showing off the value of the Game Pass. The variety, the quality of the content, even just the quality of the platform itself. It's Netflix for video games. And kudos to Phil Spencer for doing this. I'm sure that somebody along the way told him you can't do it, you shouldn't do it. He went ahead and did it anyway, and boy, do we all benefit from it. So, that's the Xbox Game Pass. Again, my next video will be back to gaming content. I am going to do a video on that Gungrave game, and I'm going to try to do something on my Nintendo Switch. I'm thinking Mario vs. Sonic Olympics. So we'll go from there, but I did want to just point this out. So this is obviously my home screen. I'm going to go ahead and show you what just some things about Game Pass that I appreciate and like. I'm sure I'm forgetting some things, but we could always do more about it later, talk about it later in a future video. But this is the Xbox Game Pass. It's a great app, great value. Xbox ecosystem is incredible, and I recommend it all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. So you can expect to hear more about that and everything else relating to games, wrestling, sports, and anything else that goes through the abyss that is my brain. All the way here from the Corner Arcade.